Hi guys, so I just tried to do this live, but it didn't work out very well. Issues with live streaming. I'll figure it out, but I wanted to put a clean copy, or as clean as it could be, up on the playlist too, because this is just too good. And I don't think anybody's going to watch the live stream that was so choppy. So I'll just record this and then put it up. So a couple months ago, maybe 1 month ago, I don't know, time just smushes together for me. We had this Karen that came to court, and after she was muted one time, she seemed to get under control. I thought maybe she learned her lesson, because it looked like it in that court. And I recorded it and I put it up, and I'm going to include it in this one too, because it's short. It's not very long, and it'll refresh your memory of how enjoyable it is to watch her. Anyway, she did have one other hearing that I noticed in between that first one and this one I'm going to show you today. But I mean, she was slightly obnoxious, and she interrupted her lawyer and the judge like twice, but it wasn't really bad. So I didn't stop and record it, and I wish I would have, because then we would have had the whole set. But what I believe is what we're seeing today is actually not the same case that we saw just a month or two ago. It's a completely different case, and you'll see why I think that. I don't know that. But you'll see why I think that, of just some of the things that she says. But she's funny. It's funny. She just shuts the court down. She just shuts it down. So here we go. Let's watch.
The other two, but you can go ahead and proceed with who we have. Judge, you're muted.
Thank you. I'm going to jump to one case on the 10 o'clock docket, because just State of Kansas versus Laura Lee Kendall Miller, case number CLW 2023 CR 69. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, I can.
I spoke with Mr. Metcalf this morning, and I think he has conflict, so he has to be.
Can I represent myself, please? I don't need an attorney.
Of course you don't.
Very well.
Going to jail.
I will discharge Mr. Metcalf in this case. This matter comes on for arraignment. Do you know how you want to proceed?
I proceed in putting forth a not guilty verdict.
Of course. Now, don't worry. She fixes that. But that's what she wants. She wants a not guilty verdict.
Or a not guilty plea.
And look, I did not catch the part about how federal courts are involved.
Federal courts, sir?
Maybe I misunderstood what you said. You want to proceed without an attorney and enter a not guilty plea. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Thank you. I will enter a not guilty plea. Mr. Audie, we probably need to have a in-person hearing. Do you want me to set this for a status hearing or a pretrial conference?
That's up to the court how you want to set it procedurally, whether you want to set a pretrial conference or just set it for a bench trial or a jury trial of Miss.
Jury trial when I'm completely innocent and you're taking eyewitness testimony from people that aren't even in Walmart. And I am going to subpoena the video footage there. And this is a complete waste of my time. This is the second time I've had to appear, the second lawyer that has a
Ma'am, we're trying to discuss procedures, not argue the case or the due process issues. What I'm going to do is set this matter for a pretrial conference.
Okay, just so you know, she was talking about Walmart. She's going to contact Walmart and look at the footage. This is what makes me think it's a completely different case, as you'll see later.
In person in this courtroom. Mr. Audie, do you have any preferences on what day of the week to do that and how much time you think you will need, given that Ms. Kendall Miller will probably need time to decide how to issue subpoenas and prepare for trial?
Excuse me, I don't agree with the trial. It's completely unnecessary, and I know I have
Ma'am, you just,
trial.
ma'am.
I want the right to waive a jury trial.
Set the matter for a pre-trial conference, and you will have your opportunity to discuss what you want the court to hear about the merits or whether or not the matter should proceed to trial. But we have to have that pre-trial
I waive
conference.
a trial hearing. I'm sorry. I don't need, I know I have a choice to let you decide or let a jury decide.
I'm going to set the matter for...
Representing myself, I want you to decide.
Would you please mute her? Thank you. Mr. Audie, what date would you like to have a pretrial conference?
I guess normally we would do those on a Monday afternoon, but that's during Judge St. Peter's docket. So I don't know, whenever the court wants to set an in-person hearing.
How soon would you want to be able to do that?
I don't need much time, and I think Ms. Kendall wants to, get this moving. So as soon as the court can get it on the docket is fine with me.
It looks to me like on May 8th that the only hearing that Judge St. Peter has at this time is at 3:30. And on May 8th, I don't have anything on the docket at this time, so we could do it anytime on the afternoon of May 8th. That would allow the state to address and have the court available, obviously, for Judge St. Peter. Would you like to do it like at 1:30?
That's fine with me.
Judge
I think we did set.
I'm sorry. He has some stuff that's not marked on the calendar yet on Odyssey. He has a 1:30, a 2, and a 2:30 so far as well.
Okay, can you look at his calendar for the 15th?
Yes.
And I do know Ms. Kendall is frustrated with having to miss work, so I wonder if it might be easier for her schedule if we do it late in the afternoon so she doesn't have to miss as much.
I will do it as late in the afternoon as
Judge St. Peter has quite a bit on the 15th, but Judge Maslin, if you wanted to do a Wednesday afternoon.
No, he does not. He does not want to do this. Stop picking on him. Don't send it to St. Peter. Poor judge.
If that will work for the state, I will do it at the earliest date that we can find courtroom time for an in-person hearing.
It would be the 10th because he has drug court on the 3rd.
She's shaking her head
Okay.
like, yep, I'm in there too.
And anytime
No,
in the
he's not.
afternoon is fine.
You set it like 4 or 4:30, so that way Ms. Kendall doesn't have to take the whole afternoon off.
I'll be glad to set it on May 10th at 4:30 in the afternoon. Ms. Kendall Miller, will that work for you?
She's muted. Just a second.
You have to unmute yourself. Okay.
The guy in the
I
jail
would
is
like
so
to know
funny.
that I have counsel appointed to me at this point, and then also that the court addresses me as Laura Kendall, my legal name for the past 6 years.
Yeah, Your Honor, her name changed and the court system for some reason keeps putting it down as Kendall Miller, but yeah, her name is Kendall.
Hey,
So for the record, Mr. Audie knows her name is Miss Kendall. Wait for the next court hearing.
so I apologize about that. I'm sure we can adjust that in future pleadings. So, with the correct name, matter addressed, do you have an objection to setting the matter for May 10th at 4:30 p.m. for a pretrial conference in person in this courtroom in Winfield?
An objection? I'm okay with that date and time.
And ma'am, did you request another attorney be appointed just now?
Yes, I did.
Well, that being the case, I think we need to set the matter for review rather than a pretrial conference. What's your opinion on that, Mr. Audie?
I agree. And Laura, if you can contact since it's a misdemeanor case, if you can contact your attorney, they should be able to appear for you in the morning at the next hearing. And that way you wouldn't have to miss work, because I know that that's been frustrating for you.
Okay, a misdemeanor case. Okay.
I'm going to appoint Scott Loftus, who's an attorney who takes appointments in this county. What we need is your contact information so that Mr. Loftus can be sure to get hold of you. Do you want to give that to us now, or do you want to?
I'll bring her Scott's contact information, and then I'll get her new address at that time.
They just all bent over backwards for this
So
rude
is
woman.
it still Wednesday the 12th at 4:30? Wednesday the 10th?
Let's set it for attorney review for May 3rd at 10 a.m.
Okay.
Anything else we need to address in this matter?
I don't believe so. And Laura, just get in touch with Scott, and then he should be able to appear for you, and you wouldn't have to take off work that morning.
Okay, I'll call him. I'll get his information. Scott Loftus. Thank you so much, Mr. Audie.
Laura, if you hang out in the hallway, I'll bring you that information and get your address.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
No, she doesn't. Okay. All right. That was the last hearing. So she was rude. She was mean. Then they muted her, and then she sort of, fell into line and was appreciative of, them bending over backwards for her, which they did, and they did not have to. I wouldn't have if I was the judge. No, I wouldn't have, but they're professional, and, I guess they deal with this all the time. So I don't know, maybe it doesn't affect them, as much as it does us watching it, but it was hard to watch. Oh, okay, it was fun to watch, I'm not gonna lie. But here we go. They're meeting again, and this sounds like a completely different case because this is protection from abuse. And again, the audio does cut out a lot from the courtroom. There's nothing I can do about that. But you get the gist.
This is the afternoon docket for June 30th, Howard County District Court sitting in Winfield. We have one case on the docket, State of Kansas versus Laura Lee Kendall, case number CLW 2023 CR 69. Counsel, would you please state your appearances?
The state appears to the defense appeared.
I believe I have just two preliminary matters before we proceed. Mr. Benitez, if you can approach the bench, I have a envelope that has documents placed in the court's basket after the hearing last time. I note that there's scotch tape on that, and I had the clerk initial that. When that was in my basket, I looked, there was a little sticker on it, and at first glance I saw that was something that I shouldn't be looking at, and so I didn't look beyond that glance.
So my best guess here, and obviously I don't know what's in that envelope, but I think she left something. I think she left stuff for the judge to look at without showing Mr. Adi or even her lawyer. I don't know this, and of course the lawyer's not going to say anything, but that's what I think happened.
You might have to talk to us a bit more.
Okay, thank you.
Yep,
There you go.
he's asking her about it.
The other preliminary matter that I have is an amended complaint was filed alleging 3 counts instead of 1. Mr. Benitez, did you receive a copy of that amended complaint?
I didn't.
And do you have any concerns about us proceeding on that amended 3-count complaint?
I do.
Thank you. Any other preliminary matters from the state, Mr. Adi?
Yes, Your Honor. I would ask the court to take judicial notice of case number CLW 22DM324, which is the PFA case underlying this, as well as case number 2017 JC48A and 2017 JC49A, which are the 2 child in care cases, and final orders in those are referenced in the PFA. And I have courtesy copies of the final order for protection from abuse, as well as the final custody orders, labeled exhibits 1, 2, and 3 for the court.
Mr. Benitez, do you have any objections to the court taking judicial notice of those exhibits? Very well, I will take judicial notice and enter them into the record as State's Exhibit 1, which is the protective order in 22 DM 324. State's Exhibit 2, the order for custody and adopting parenting plan in 17 JC 48, and order for custody and adopting parenting plan in 17 JC 49. Any other preliminary matters, Mr. Adi?
Not in the state.
Any preliminary matters, Mr. Benitez?
No, Your Honor. We are having a little bit of trouble here.
2 things. I will move this up and I'll see what the volume is here. Is that any better? Okay. If
Sorry about that.
Dorothy, do you want to make, let me go back a step. Are both counsel prepared for trial at this time?
The state is. The place is as well.
Dorothy, do you want to make an opening argument?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Benitez, you want to reserve opening?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Adi, please call your first witness.
My first witness is Michael Miller.
Oh, this poor guy was married to her. I wonder what happened when he left like a sock on the ground.
Please raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. You may be seated. Roddy, you may inquire.
Can you please state your name for the record? No. And are you familiar with the Laura Kendall? Yeah. How do you know her? My ex-wife. Do you two have any children together? Natalie. Okay. How old are they? Natalie is 13 when they. I'm not 100% positive, but I think it. Did you have contact with the police about those phone calls? Yes, my daughter requested for me to have them. Did you call the police or did they contact you for some other reason? I went down to them. Okay. Oh wait, hold on. I believe they were doing some kind of check with her, and then while I was there, and she was with me. Do you recall what date that was? Latter December, early January. It was right after the cafe though. So 7 months ago. Yeah. All right. I'm going to go back to that because I was do you see Miss Kendall important? Shirt, black pants, and gold necklace. I would ask the record reflect the witness identified the defendant.
Record would so reflect.
Thank you. Okay, now you mentioned some phone calls to your daughter, is that right? Yes. Does your daughter have her own phone? Yes. Did those phone calls occur that same day or a different day? Or do you recall? I think it was happened on the same day. In a minute since I've seen all that. And if you don't remember the answer to any question, that's fine. Just say that you don't remember. I'm going to hand you what I've marked as State's Exhibit 4. Recognize that photo? Yeah. Did you take that photo? No, I believe the officer did, because we took her from the Trevor's number. And were you present when that photo was taken? Yes, sir. And does that photo truly and accurately represent what you saw when the photo was taken? Yes, sir. Your Honor, I would ask to admit State's Exhibit 4.
Do you have any objection to admission of that exhibit, Mr. Benitez?
No, Your Honor.
Very well. State's Exhibit 4 will be admitted.
Okay. Could you describe to me what that photo shows?
It shows 3 calls, all within about, I'm going to say 20 minutes.
Is that photo of a telephone, of a cell phone with a smartphone?
Yes.
Right. Whose smartphone is that?
That's Natalie's smartphone.
Okay. And that's your daughter, as you said?
Yes.
All right. What is the number that shows the calls view?
620-446-4335.
What were the dates and times of those photos?
February 4th, 5:56 p.m. February 4th. February 4th, 6:11 p.m.
Okay. And is that number in that phone's contacts?
No, sir.
So it doesn't say who the phone is, who the call is from, it just says the number.
Just says the number.
Were you at that time familiar with that number?
No, sir.
Did your daughter answer any of the calls?
No, sir. It says decline on all calls.
All right. What led you to believe that was Laura's number?
Well, we had asked, I asked her grandma And their grandma said, well, that's the number of lawyers. And whenever Natalie had asked for me to get that stopped, I went straight to.
So you didn't personally recognize the number, but information from a third party led you to believe that was Lois?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Now, you mentioned a PFA.
She's trying to get the judge's attention.
And everything started in December, and I believe it.
Oh, no.
Is
She's not.
this
She's actually saying things to her ex-husband. I bet he's not even looking at her.
Is it your understanding that PFA restricts contact between Ms. Kendall? All right. I would note that the PFA, which has already been entered into evidence, allows contact in accordance with the permanent custody order that was entered previously.
yes, sir.
And that order allows contact in a therapeutic setting once the child's therapist has approved it.
Yes.
That happened.
Not that I know of. No therapist has ever contacted me saying
So no therapeutic approval has ever occurred.
that's true.
And these phone calls were not made in therapeutic setting.
No.
Where do you live?
Well, I live 14 more Park Place, Winfield, Kansas.
And that's it. Was that the same location you lived at the date of your report, the date of the calls?
Yes, sir.
And does your daughter live there with you?
Yes, sir.
And did she live there on that date?
Yes, sir.
I don't have any other questions for this witness. Thank you. The other attorney may have some questions. Please.
Of course he has questions.
Yeah, Mr. Miller. So you did not recognize that phone call or that number, correct? That is correct. And you also said that the only way you connected that with Miss Kendall was through calling the grandmother. Is that correct? No, I actually picked kids and Natalie said she had gotten. Yeah, Natalie said she had gotten a phone calls and her mom said. And how would her mother know that that is Miss Kendall's number? I'm gonna assume because Laura called her mother from that number. So you don't have any actual knowledge of that prior to this being connected to Miss Kendall? No. Okay. And all of the calls were declined, correct? That is correct. So there was never any telephonic communication actually made, is that correct? So there was no way of you knowing that it was actually Miss Kendall calling other than what you had heard from the mother, is that correct? That is true. Okay. You live at your address with Natalie and Landon, is that correct? Yes.
We all know it was her. And she knows, we all know it was her. And she knows, the judge knows it was her. And this lawyer knows that this line of questioning is idiotic at the extreme, but he has to do something. He doesn't have much to work with.
And have the kids exhibited behavioral issues while in your care? They go and see a therapist and they're both on Natalie is disabled and has a dyslexia and things. Have they exhibited behavioral issues at school? None other than whenever mother intervened. So no truancy issues, no missing tardies, things like that. There's been a few with some of Natalie's behavior and her therapist. Other than that, I've pretty much been doing everything as far as professionals go to help her and assist her. And by a few, are we talking once every couple months, once every couple weeks, once every couple months. Yeah. Prior to these phone calls that we don't know necessarily who they came from, have you had contact with Miss Kendall?
A little bit.
And by that you mean
The PFA was the last time that I can think of that I had any kind of contact with her.
you never reached out to her, you never called her,
No.
you've seen her out in public and engaged with her?
Whenever I was door dashing, even though I called to make sure that she wasn't there, the person told me that she wasn't there and her schedule.
And what was the extent of that?
The extent of that was I picked up my sack as soon as it was out and I left. I didn't talk to her, I didn't do nothing.
And you mentioned that you had called a number while you were door dashing. What number was that?
The store number.
The store number?
Yeah, just make sure she wasn't there because I didn't want to have any issues.
Going back to the PFA, obviously you guys had a final adjudication, correct? And did you see anybody hand Miss Kendall the PFA?
I hate this line of questioning. It's not on him to make sure she gets the PFA. Like, the PFA is, she has to stay away from him. So he can't be near her to even see this happening. And it's just not on him.
Her paperwork was handed to her. I don't know.
You saw something.
I saw something handed to her. I don't know what was handed to her. Where she left.
So you don't know whether or not she was actually handed the PFA. Is that correct? Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, that's a fair statement. I mean, I'm not, got to go where I'm not supposed to see that somebody delivered.
Exactly.
I understand. I'm just saying that you don't have any firsthand knowledge that she was actually given or served the PFA. Is that correct?
I know she was given something when I left the court. She was given. I was given it was given to me when I left the courtroom, so I'm going to assume the same for her.
Right, but you don't know.
Don't know.
Okay. And as far as the contacting the police officer goes, you had never taken the PFA to the police. Is that correct? You had no issues with this PFA prior to this?
That's been the only issue I can think of, and that was early on.
Okay. So there would be no reason for the police. And if there's no reason for the police to know about the PFA, would it be fair to assume that if a law enforcement officer doesn't know about it, Miss Kendall may not have known about it?
No,
Well,
it's not fair to assume that.
I believe that there was a house by Miss Kendall where the PFA was brought into attention and shaming and stuff. What's going on? How does she even think that she knows this information unless she's been close?
So how do you figure that these other officers knew about a PFA that Officer Lynch said he had no record of at the police department?
Because I had told them about it and showed them the paperwork and everything.
Right, but you said prior to that the police had already known about the PFA, correct? When they would come over to do these welfare checks or whatever it was.
Well, this was after PFA was issued, yes.
Yeah.
December on, yeah. Once I showed them the paperwork, they knew, yes. I mean,
But every officer,
the first one obviously they didn't know, but every officer after that should have.
but you still had to show them the paperwork.
No, I only had to show them once. Once one person had seen it, all the others already knew.
And who was the first officer? It wasn't Philip Lynch, though?
No, it wasn't.
So if every officer after that knew about the PFA, why did Mr. Lynch not know about it? I mean, it was in effect. What do you do for work? No, I'm sorry. Okay. Okay. And how long have you worked there? I was just saying. What did you do prior to? I was door dashing and working for Pizza Hut. Because of my shoulder and then get it rotated. Okay. There. So. Doing put it there. So we get a full release from the doctors. Okay. Let's kind of pivot back real quick if you don't mind. How describe your relationship with your kids? Our relationship with your kids is pretty good. Have you had any disciplinary issues with your children? No, not really. No. In regards to your discipline, have you ever spanked your children? Okay. Not really, or no? You've never spanked your children? I just I told that I should, but I choose not to. I choose to use other means as like vernacularly taking Netflix away is a very good punishment. What other kind of disciplinary methods do you use? Taking your tablets, devices, anything like that. Just taking this bike away for 4 or 5 hours. It's just pretty good punishment. And especially during the day when you're able to go ride it. So you've never used corporal punishment? No. Okay. Now you say that people have said you probably should spank your kids. I'm gonna check on relevance.
Finally.
Does this relate to?
I was waiting for that.
I'm trying to prove that there was a reason, I guess, for sending these welfare checks.
So what happened was the police were called to him multiple times to do welfare checks. Multiple times to do welfare checks. And if I was him, if I was this attorney, the last thing I would do was bring that up before the judge because it makes his client look horrible. But there he goes, puts it front and center of that, the fact that there were multiple times that somebody, I don't know who yet, yes I do, called the police and made them do a welfare check on her ex-husband and children.
So was it capricious or ill-intentioned in any way, or you're trying to violate?
Well, I think that's a part of an affirmative defense, not. So I'm going to sustain the objection.
That's right. I don't know that any questions. Thank you. Okay.
Your Honor, may I ask?
Her lawyer just got done cross-examining the witness, and there she goes. Your Honor, may I please cross-examine him? I need to talk to him. They muted her.
You can talk to your attorney before I end his cross-examination.
Sorry.
If you want to be able to, Mr. Benitez, I don't want to butt in, but if you want to have a break where you can do this more confidentially, you can step out of the courtroom for a minute, which would probably be easier than all of us leaving the courtroom.
I believe Ms. Kendall was asked one question. Mr. Miller, how long has it been since you've seen your son?
How long has it been since I seen my son? I just saw him this morning when I dropped him off at my mom's house because I was doing work. She's the one who watches him.
And can you describe something that Miss Kendall bought for Landon recently?
She bought her shoes. She bought her ice board. Let's see. With grayish, blackish kind of outline. Several pairs of shorts, size 10, 12. Several pairs of or several shirts.
I don't know what makes her mad.
Ma'am, if, ma'am, you need to communicate those issues with your attorney, and those issues can be brought out at the correct time in the correct manner.
She's still telling him what to say.
Okay, sir, if they were size 8, they wouldn't fit him because he had been 12 in all the photos.
Is that it? That
She bought some socks and she bought some boxers. The boxers were he's getting size 10, 12. The 9, I think, what it was. Now there was a pair of swim trunks that were size 8. She is correct on that. The swim trunks do not fit. I figured so she could give them to Laura. Return, but this was all stuff that he wrote. Had all kinds of clothes.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Miller.
Mr. Roddy, do you have any redirect?
Just one question. How were those shoes and clothes delivered to you?
They were brewed by somebody that probably should not have been out in 100-degree heat. Not how old your grandmother is, but
Kendall's mother or grandmother?
it was her grandmother.
Thank you. I don't have any questions.
Thank you. Any questions with regard to that redirect? May this witness be excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
You want him subject to recall?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Defense does.
Yep. You,
Or actually, just for the record, I'm handing exhibit 4 to the court.
may call your next witness, Mr. Oddie.
Your Honor, my next witness is Philip Lynch.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You may be seated. Fire, Mr. Oddie.
Can you please state your name for the record? Philip Lynch. And how are you employed? I'm employed with the City of Winfield Police Department. And what are your duties with the police department?
I'm a patrol sergeant and take phone calls and complaints from citizens.
I just recognize that man.
Ma'am, you can speak through your attorney. If you want to continue interrupting, what I will do is allow you to hear this hearing from a Zoom situation. I don't think you want to do that. You may continue, Mr. Oddie.
I'll repeat my last word. So, or as part of your duties with the police department, did you come into contact with Michael Miller on last year
or this year, sorry?
That's correct.
How did that contact come about?
I contacted Mr. Miller. Contacted him because I requested to do
Who asked you to do a welfare check?
work in the Miller.
Did you speak with her yourself, or was that something like came through dispatch?
Dispatch paged me. I phoned number to call her, and I called spoke to her over the phone.
Okay. Did you interact with Ms. Kendall in person?
I did not.
What phone number were you given to contact Ms. Kendall?
620-446-4335.
Boom. The magic mysterious number that texted her daughter was the same number given to the police officer to call her back multiple times.
And were you able to contact her at that phone number?
Yes.
Okay, so then you said you asked her to do a welfare, or she asked you to do a welfare check.
Oh, how cruel, how mean.
I checked for any protect.
Is that a department? Is that a police department maintained records in check?
Yes.
Okay. So you didn't see any protection orders in there?
I did not.
All right. Then what did you do?
I contacted Mr. Miller to do a welfare check.
It comes back on, don't worry.
Did you make in-person contact with Mr. Miller?
I spoke to him over the phone. And after he spoke to bring it to me, which we did.
Did you ever, so you didn't actually go to Mr. Miller's residence? Did he bring that documentation with?
We caught it the following day due to it was late at night.
Did he express any other concerns to you at that time?
Claim that there has been contact in the past and that there's no police reports regarding that.
Did he show you any phone calls from Mr. Miller to?
Father showed her phone. Together they, so I could see the phone calls.
His daughter being Natalie Miller?
Yes.
So was she present when he came to the court, or the police department to say?
Sorry.
Your Honor, may I take back to the court back?
You may.
Handing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 4. You recognize that photograph?
I did.
Did you take that photograph?
I did.
And is it a true and accurate representation of the phone that you were presented with?
Yes.
And is that number that shows the same number that you reached Ms. Kendall at? So after you met with Mr. Miller and Natalie, what did you do next?
I called Miss Miller and spoke with her.
Spoke with her again
Over the phone.
at that same number?
Yes.
What did you speak to her about that time?
I explained to her that with her actions, she had violated a protection order. I asked her to do something.
To your knowledge, did she do so? Did you ever have in-person, like face-to-face contact with Ms. Miller or Ms. Kendall? I'm sorry.
I did not.
So you never arrested her?
I did not.
Thank you. I don't have any other questions.
Thank you.
Mr. Benitez, you may inquire of this witness.
Afternoon, Officer Roach. In your police report, you said that you've had multiple incidents with Miss Miller in the past. Is that correct?
I have.
And what were those incidents for?
Was requesting welfare checks for children.
And did you complete welfare checks prior to this incident?
I did not.
Did anybody else?
I don't know.
Okay. So Miss Miller has contacted the police department several occasions, correct? Prior to this one, requesting the same kind of thing. And at least according to Mr. Miller, several officers have showed up. Do you think that at any time prior to that, the PFA should have been brought up? Is it standard policy in the police department not to have active PFAs maintained?
That's correct.
So you guys don't keep active PFAs on file?
They are.
And so why then was this one not on file?
I learned that there was a clerical error and it was not on file.
So you guys didn't have knowledge of this PFA on file?
I did not.
Okay. And that's not standard operating procedure. To maintain an act or to not maintain it.
I honestly don't know what the standard operating procedure is. That's
Okay. Fair enough. Now, you say you called Miss Kendall for something, or on this number. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And has there been any kind of finding that this was a cell phone that actually belonged to Miss Kendall, or just a number that she was using or had at the time? Could she have been borrowing somebody else's number? Would that be?
She said they.
Okay. So you don't know that this phone actually belonged to Miss Kendall, or that she was the one who actually called Natalie?
I did not check the cell phone provider to see who's finished that phone.
Okay. So you were going off of an eyewitness testimony that a number who may be associated with Miss Kendall contacted, and that was reason for PFA violation.
Going off the number of the call.
Yes. Okay. Have you heard of spoof numbers? Is that something you've encountered in your law enforcement career?
I understand what they are.
Okay. And so you understand then that somebody could use a phone number that doesn't belong to them to try to reach another number, telemarketers, scammers, things of that sort.
I understand.
Okay. So is it within the realm of possibility that it was not Miss Kendall who actually called Natalie Miller on February 4th?
Yes.
Okay. Now, also, Mr. Miller says that he's had numerous incidents in the past with Miss Miller. That was in your report, correct? And when there is an active PFA that has been violated supposedly numerous times, do you think a police officer at any point prior to that would have recognized that there was something amiss?
And testified on another police officer would be.
In your experience, would you think that something was amiss?
Yes.
Okay. So kind of to sum things up, the police department didn't have knowledge of a PFA being in effect.
It was not reported in a manner.
And so do you think it would be a fair assessment to say that if the enforcement arm of the court system didn't have knowledge of the PFA being in effect, that somebody like a layperson like Miss Miller would also not have knowledge of this PFA being in effect? But if you, as an officer who is designed to uphold this PFA, didn't have knowledge, would it be fair, or would it be within the realm of possibility that a layperson would also not have knowledge?
Not necessarily.
Okay. I believe that is all the questions I have for you, Mr. Rich. You stated that Ms. Kendall has made prior welfare check calls, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know how long ago those were? Were they before December of last year?
I don't know that.
Well, Any of my experiences moved prior to that.
Prior to December?
Yes.
Okay. So if in a prior incident, before the PFA was entered, obviously there would be a PFA on file. Sorry, I phrased that badly. If a PFA was entered in December, but you received a welfare check in, say, October, so if the welfare checks were before the PFA, you wouldn't necessarily know about it. I want to clarify the dates and times that you spoke to Ms. Miller, or Ms. Kendall, I'm sorry. You said that when you contacted Mr. Miller, it was about 10 p.m., is that right?
It was after 10:30.
Okay. Do you recall what time you originally spoke with Ms. Kendall on the phone?
It was shortly after 22 hours, which we
And then you said after speaking with Mr. Miller on the 5th, you then called Ms. Kendall again, is that right?
I referred to my narrative.
Did you write that narrative at the time your memory was fresh?
I did.
Okay, and we're looking at it, helping you refresh it. Okay, then please do. Getting into the kind of nitty-gritty details. So. Okay. So you originally spoke with Ms. Kendall around after 10 p.m. on February 4th. So again, after you spoke with after you brought in the papers, is that right?
No, I spoke to Ms. Department, and then I called Ms. back.
Well, you brought it in on the 4th that evening? I'm not trying to confuse you.
Well, he returned on the 5th during normal business hours.
Okay. And then after that is when we called Ms. Kendall. I'm sorry. I keep saying
Passive aggressive.
okay. Okay. So then I'm looking at your narrative at the top of the second page. It says then on the 5th, you attempted to call Ms. Kendall again and you were unable to contact. Or no, I'm sorry, I'm misreading that. I'll withdraw that question. Okay, so you spoke with Ms. Kendall at 2 different times on the night of February 4th.
Yes.
Okay. And both times you reached her at that number that is shown in that photo.
Mr. Benitez, you can question the witness again.
Just to reiterate, just because you reach somebody on a number doesn't mean that they own the number. Correct. If somebody lives with a grandparent, for example, sure, I could call them the number. Yeah, well, if you were calling somebody else, and just because they picked up the phone doesn't necessarily mean that that's their cell phone or that they have control and custody of the phone, correct?
Here's where I have issues with this attorney, because it doesn't matter if she actually owns the phone that made the calls or not. It doesn't matter. She has a protection from abuse. She's not allowed to contact them at all from any number. It doesn't matter if she owns it or not.
I could call from the police department. Right. Okay. That's all my questions. Thank you.
Any?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. May this witness be excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're excused, sir. You can stay or leave as you see fit.
I wonder if he stays because he knows we're about to see some fireworks in this courtroom.
Yeah. Ma'am, this is the state's case in chief. During the state's case in chief, the state
lawsuit that the United States Supreme Court lawsuit by assuming the state of Kansas
Ma'am.
defamation of character, lost wages, failure to comply with federal and state.
All her poor
I'll say
attorney.
this one more time. Listen to me very carefully.
Very missing I have an education degree here. That was my stranger, not sharing in this part.
Will have the opportunity, should you choose to do so, to testify on your own behalf. This is not the time for you to testify. You're not under oath. It is not your bench yet. Mr. Oddie, do you have any other witnesses to call?
I have no other witnesses, Your Honor. I do want to draw the court's attention to on State's Exhibit 1, the order shows Kendall was personally present in that hearing.
Thank you. Mr. Benitez, so the state was arrested?
Yes, they
Do you wish to present any evidence at this time?
Yes, he does.
Do you wish to present evidence at this time?
Can I ask a real procedural question?
Certainly.
If I ask for a directed verdict and you deny it, can I put this pen on the stand?
You can approach the podium and make that motion. It's an entirely appropriate motion in every trial at this stage.
I would like to petition the court to ask for a directed verdict. I don't think the state has proved evidence that she was ever personally served with the PFA and therefore did not have knowledge that the PFA was in effect. On top of that, I don't believe that either witness can truly corroborate or say that Ms. Kendall was the actual one. I guess in the alternative, I would also like to point out that
I don't believe she wasn't served. Okay. All right. Mr. Oddie did not prove that she was served. However, like the husband testified that they got the PFA in court and he was there and she was there and he got the information when he left and he said that she was handed something when she left. So she was there in the court. So she heard the ruling. She had to have, because look at her. She's not one that's going to pay attention to passing butterflies. She is laser focused on this. So she definitely got the PFA.
I don't believe the state's witnesses have corroborated the fact that Ms. Kendall was actually the one making the phone calls. So I would ask the court to do that.
And the trooper called her twice at that number. He called her, she answered. So, yeah, Mr. Oddie did a good job on that one.
At this stage in the proceedings, the standard is looking at all of the evidence in the light most favorable to the state. Could a reasonable person conclude beyond a reasonable doubt, one, position that Ms. Kendall had knowledge of the order, and two, that it was in fact her who made one or more of those three calls. And I believe the The state has met that burden at this time.
Sure did.
Therefore, I will deny your motion.
Okay, people.
I'm ready to proceed.
Here we go.
And you may call your witness.
Buckle up.
Laura and Laura to the stand.
This is going to be quick, but it's going to be so good. She's just so angry. Look at the look. She even gives her lawyer a nasty, dirty look. This woman is so rude.
Please raise your right hand.
And put it over your mouth. Oh, no.
Nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, I do.
You may proceed, Mr. Benitez.
Yeah, Ms. Kendall. Can you tell me what you were doing on the night of February 4th?
What about me?
And what were you doing at home? Do you live with anybody?
I think I was living with my roommate at the time.
And
My job.
who was your roommate?
I paid to live there. I mean, he said my son lived there.
Okay. Has Bob ever used your cell phone or any other kind of communication devices?
Yes.
Yes, he has. My
This is definitely all Bob's fault. We were all wrong.
Have you allowed Bob to ever make phone calls off of your personal communication devices?
I make control of my own cell phone that he interview. I came back and it was missing from where I left it. Okay.
Okay.
First reason he's a liar.
Okay. Please refrain from speaking unless I ask you a
She
question.
said he's a liar.
Response to the question I asked you. Going a little bit forward, do you recall the original PFA adjudication in front of Judge Lanning?
Yes.
And
At which point I, Exhibit A,
I wonder if this attorney knew this was the last question he was going to be able to ask his client, if he would have asked a different question.
states a parent is not required to of removal to the other sex under either A clause or B, if the other parent is guilty of a crime specified in Article 44, crimes against person, such as slapping people for no reason, choking them for no reason.
okay, thank you. We can get into that.
5 sex offenses when you give a 11-year-old with human papillomavirus and your 8-year-old wife, take your condom off behind you and I state for cervical cancer. Article 36, crimes affecting relationships and children, where you won't let of 19 years to follow your children that carried your children 9 months and gave birth to 2 healthy children, and I still get the penalty and meds at
You need to listen to me for a moment.
I can move them out of care, but I have Gardasil shot records that my daughters had 2 Gardasil shots, which they're getting for venereal disease, human papillomavirus. I had the same virus that Michael Miller gave me, and a year and a half later, I decided to stay for it.
We can get into the protection, the parenting plan.
Why does he have the right to call me and hang up on me and not get arrested?
Ma'am, you want me to have to recess the hearing for a minute? No, listen to me
My
very.
daughter in legal setting, like school, out of this care.
Can you turn off the microphone? This is a trial. There is a procedure. I'm
It's okay
trying.
for Michael Miller to call me after she brings me up twice, and I can't do it to my daughter after I know he's guilty of the sex crime and gave better for me too. This is ridiculous and having sex with a prostitute. It's not okay, Judge. It's not okay not to hold my PFA
Ma'am.
so that my daughter isn't further exposed to
I'm going
HIV.
to give you one more chance
I'm not
to listen to me.
That's
No.
why I have the authority to
recall her by now. And law enforcement is to doesn't skill set for polygraphs and criminals in the city. They don't do it here. Law enforcement doesn't for polygraphs and criminals.
Well, that's it. The judge shut down court. He said that was enough for court for today. We're going to have to try this again some other day. So we don't get to see what happens. It's just unfortunate. I'll keep looking. I'll keep seeing if he posts something. But that's all we got. But it was so good. This woman just went off and shut down the whole court. And, you know, I know she's going to have more crimes in the future. Look at her. I did look her up, and she does have other past crimes besides the protection from abuse charge and the PFA charge. She has fleeing. So when she was arrested the one time, she actually fled and was caught later. I think so. It's possible that there are two Laura Kendall Millers. So it's possible that I'm wrong and it's just a happy coincidence, but I don't think so. And I don't think she's going to stick to this court order. You know what it reminds me of a little bit? On Biggins' channel, he had that, he had the bully mom. Oh, that was great. Oh my gosh, that was great. She reminds me of that. So I expect that we're going to get more in the future for that. So stay tuned. I'm going to keep watching and see if I can find her again. And if I do, I might even make her own little playlist. Thank you so much. If you made it this far, please hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Have a good day, guys. See ya.